I'm outside Osgoode Hall in downtown Toronto, where for the next 4 days, the provincial government of Ontario will be taking the federal government's carbon tax to court. This, as you well know by now, the tax that Justin Trudeau has imposed on provinces that refuse to put a carbon tax of their own onto their citizens. It was one of the first orders of business for the Doug Ford government in Ontario to eliminate the Kathleen Wynne cap and trade that so many Ontarians thought was causing harm to the economy, to business, and not really doing a hoot for the environment. That's what's at stake here. Now, the question is not whether climate change is real or whether global warming is real. No, the question that's going to be adjudicated here is whether the federal government has the constitutional jurisdiction to impose such a tax on provinces basically as a penalty. But what's interesting is that a lot of the interveners, such as the Suzuki Foundation, for example, are putting forward a vision on this that is actually about whether a carbon tax is a good idea environmentally. And this is one thing that's very important to note, because today there's actually a protest scheduled where a bunch of environmental demonstrators are going to be protesting against the provincial government's challenging of the carbon tax. And they're going to be saying that a carbon tax is necessary. The British Columbia government has intervened in this case, and the BC government is saying in its factum that a carbon tax is necessary because climate change is real and because climate change doesn't respect provincial borders or boundaries. But none of these arguments really get to the core of the constitutionality, which is what the Ontario Court of Appeal and Judge McPherson specifically will be determining. And such a high-profile case this is that for the first time in about 12 years, cameras will be allowed in the courtroom. The whole thing will be live streamed. But ultimately, the question is solely whether Justin Trudeau and his government have overstepped their bounds and imposed something on provinces that is not constitutionally within their mandate. We'll be in the courtroom for the next 4 days. It's going to be probably a real barn burner at some points and perhaps a little drier at others. But that's why we're here, because this is one of the most critical fights that is taking place, not just in provincial elections and in provinces across the country, but at the federal level as well. For True North, I'm Andrew Lawton.